Guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host, Sam, and we are back again with another one. Manchester City have dropped points twice in a row. That is something to talk about. I'm going to say something that is going to be interesting. I want to hear what your thoughts are, because I think there's something that has just changed mentality-wise on a Manchester City's perspective, knowing that Rodri is out, than maybe when you know that Rodri is outside, he can come in as a substitute or something. Because when you watch Manchester City today, especially the second half, I felt like you could sense that they were afraid of how dangerous Newcastle were. They were afraid of how they were going to be exposed by this Newcastle team defensively, knowing that they no longer have that ball controller, the creator that Rodri is, the guy who we know, the one who moves with the game, or as we are used to seeing. Okay, Kovacic can do a game, yes, can do something, but he is not that Rodri player that Man City need. We always talk about how Man City always prove that they can win a game. They've never lost a game where Rodri is in, and in a moment where you say that their winning percentage goes down every single time whenever they play without a Rodri. And knowing that he's now out for the whole entire season, I feel like it's playing mentality. It's playing with the mental strength of the players, and you could see that there were so many situations where Manchester City players were panicking, and I just wonder, is that how this season is going to be set up? Like, is that exactly what we're going to see this season from a Manchester City perspective, where they cannot pull out a better performance, where they cannot show that they are still the champions, that they are the team that has been winning so much? Because, of course, maybe it's because of the manager that he has come up and said that all the success that they've achieved, they could not have done it without a Rodri. And maybe it's showing that there is something with this Manchester City team that is now lacking a bit, knowing that they no longer have that player in the squad. But I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. And now, does this tell us that if Arsenal were serious on the game against City, don't you think they could have won this game? I don't know. I wonder. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. But the game finished 1-1, people, and there is a story to talk about. Was that a penalty? Let me explain to you, because if you watch Anthony Gordon, he was moving with the ball ahead, and when he noticed that he had kicked the ball far away from the goalkeeper, he took advantage. He allowed his feet to go exactly on the keeper so that he falls and get a penalty. This situation reminds me of Newcastle against Liverpool at Anfield, where Liverpool were given a penalty in a situation where Diogo Jota noticed that the ball was gone, and you took advantage of the goalkeeper, and the penalty came from that. That penalty looked similar to that one, and I remember so many Newcastle fans were really angry with the situation. They were complaining because they felt like it was not fair. It felt like it was made by the fans as well. It was played up in the hands of the referee, especially from the point of view where the referee was standing. And of course, in this situation, you would think that maybe VAR would come out and talk, but I think at this moment they are giving more power to the referee, and the referee asked if there was a contact. Yes, there was a contact, but if you look at that contact, I think it was initiated by the player of Newcastle, Anthony Gordon. He made sure that he went through and actually went to the goalkeeper so that he takes advantage of that situation and get that penalty. Because now when you look at it, when you ask questions, you can't complain really when you're Newcastle. You can't complain because that goal got you back into the game. And I don't even want to lie to you. Second half-wise, I think you deserve to win if you're Newcastle. The way they played in this game, the way they were attacking and the way they were causing chaos, they deserve to get something in the game. And I know they did take advantage of the chances that they created. I'm telling you, if Newcastle took advantage of the chances that they created in the first 15 minutes of second half, this game could have been gone. But it was the penalty, and of course there will be some discussion in terms of what the people think about that incident, and was it really a penalty? All those discussions will happen, and I'm gonna really be excited to see how the situation plays out like and what will happen. But I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of the performance from both Manchester City and Newcastle? I felt like Manchester City were lacking something, maybe a Kevin De Bruyne, but he was out because of that groin injury he suffered in the game, or I think it was the Champions League game against Inter. In this game, Man City looked so vulnerable. I don't want to lie to you. I've never seen that from Man City, especially in this recent years where they've just been losing. And these are the questions that people are asking, that because there is a pillar in this Manchester City squad who's missing, does that mean that the advantage moves to this team close to Man City, in this case Arsenal, to take advantage of this? Because if they are going to be afraid defensively, where the likes of Ilkay Gundogan, the players who attacks, takes advantage of this and do this, don't you think they will punish this team? Don't you think that they will take advantage of everything that is happening? Because now when you look at how this incident came out in the end, if you look at how the game has been played, who exactly has the advantage here? Arsenal are playing. They already know in few minutes that Man City have dropped points, and they can take advantage of those situations and maybe actually go score goals and maybe go on top of Man City. And that will play mental-wise in terms of Manchester City mentality, trying to concentrate and be in the game. That will play in the advantage of Arsenal. That will play in the advantage of Liverpool when you look at it, especially if they win against Wolves today. They know that Man City dropped the points. What will happen? It's going to be exciting to see how the situation plays out like. So I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Where do you see Man City going from now? How do they come back in this game? How do they focus on this game? Because dropping points against Arsenal, against the 10-man Arsenal in the second half, we tried to make sense because we are all focusing on Arsenal playing negativity. But dropping against Newcastle, it doesn't matter. You guys have won so many trophies in a row. You are expected to perform. You must, if we are talking in the YouTube language, you are supposed to be the team that shows up and do something. But in this game, they didn't must. And I'm telling you, they will struggle to find consistency if they're like this. This will give confidence to the opponents that are going to be facing Man City, because they know that they're rattled. They know that they're afraid of teams hitting them on the attacks and taking advantage of them in defensive wise. And that is going to be something that we need to pay attention of. But let's talk about also the other incident. Haaland was pocketed by this team of Newcastle the whole entire game. He was not allowed to do anything, and that is an interesting one. Dan Ben made sure that Haaland does not get any advantage against them, and he made sure that he kept him quiet the whole entire game. The goal that City scored came from Govadio, a left back, coming and taking advantage of the spaces which had been created from Jack Grealish running with the ball. You know, if there was anything that was going to happen from a Manchester City's perspective, it was going to come from Grealish, because looking at this team, looking at everything that was happening, it did not look like there was any player who was going to come back and they help this Man City to come in. Second time in a row, Bernardo Silva is out of the game. He's just not in it. He was not in the game. It felt like he was just missing in this game. And I wonder, how does this help Man City in the long term? How do they recover from this? How do they even come back and try to perform? But also on the other hand, we need to give some serious praise to Anthony Gordon. This guy was just a menace. Man City defense could not handle him. They just did not know how to stop him, how to work and try to cause chaos with him. He was everywhere. Every single time he was on the bomb, every single time he was on the attack, Man City were afraid. The Harvey Barnes, done all the players that Newcastle put out, even what's his name? This Brazilian who's in what's his name? I'm trying to remember his name. The Brazilian Jolinton, Tonali, Guimarães. They were all over. Harvey Barnes, Jacob Murphy. They made sure that they counted. They made sure whatever they were doing, it was counting. It's only that they lost a player in the second half, but this could have been a game that if Newcastle had kept on putting the same pressure that they were putting before the substitutes of Phil Foden from a Manchester City point of view, they could have won this game. They could have turned this game in a different way. So I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are and what you thought of the game, because it was an exciting game. And I just wonder, how does the game goes on from this in a Manchester City? If you're a Manchester City fan, aren't you not afraid? Aren't you not rattled like what the Arsenal fans have been saying the whole entire time since the game against them, that Man City are rattled? Losing of Rodri is now playing in their mind, and they are now, it looks like a team that they've lost their confidence mentality-wise. In terms of performance-wise, they are shaken. And how does that benefit the team that they're playing against? How do they even find a way? All those are the questions that people are going to be asking. But that was it. In terms of ball position, in terms of dominating the game, all of the things were ready. The team that was put out here, you saw it. Everything that you saw, people, you can all talk about it. What were your thoughts over the game? But there is an interesting turn of events in terms of how this game is going to go, how Manchester City will perform in terms of the performance, how they go forward. Can this team be able to perform really, or they are going to be in trouble? Look at how many shots they had in target. 6 out of 16 chances. They were dominating everything, Man City, but they just could not score. At the same time, they were panicking in terms of defense because Newcastle were causing chaos. It's 11 shots, and if you look, 4 of them were on target. They were very close. They were everywhere. Every single time whenever they were holding the ball, you would think, watching it from the outside, that Newcastle had an opportunity to score the goal than the Man City because of how they were dangerous and how they were threatening going forward. And I just wondered, how does that even change? What will happen as we continue with the season? But I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Connect. Tell me what you think of the performance we saw today from a Manchester City, from the Newcastle. How does this help in terms of confidence-wise? Remember, this season-wise, we've been talking about how Newcastle have not started the season well. Does this performance against Man City turns things upside down? Does this help them to have the confidence that they need to go forward in terms of the season? Or when we look at it in Man City, does this first performance after Rodri was ruled out for the season, does it have an impact in terms of how they go forward in terms of the performance, or they will bounce back from this? Because all these small incidents, all these small situations, they all matter at the end of the day. So don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Connect. Let me know what your thoughts were over the game between Manchester City and Newcastle. And was that a penalty? Because I feel like it wasn't. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I'm out. Arsenal coming next, people. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. This was the reaction of Man City. Newcastle 1, Manchester City 1. Anthony Gordon penalty, the difference maker, and the Gvardio's goal. Those ones were the ones that were actually... okay, something was about to start here. But anyway, I'm out, people. Like that video. Subscribe. We're out. Peace.
Beats the goalkeeper. You're just lost for words. He is just brilliant. Georgie Best, Diego Maradona, Johan